So should a 50-year-old veteran pursue his master's degree, or should he just charge on and start his career with his bachelor's? Let's find out. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you to a rewarding career and to help you create a life you're proud of. And in that endeavor, today I'm going to be answering a question from a veteran who is wondering whether or not he should pursue his master's degree. I know I've made other videos about this. We'll talk about that in a bit, but if this is your first time dropping by, thank you. And you're probably wondering, who the heck am I? I'm Brian. I help mentor students, recent grads, young adults, and not so young adults with regards to their career planning, career strategy, career growth, but also things like social development, personal development, relationships, because you know what? They're all connected together. I'll help you with all of that. And if you want to learn more about me, I'll have a link in the description below with regards to my credentials, with regards to my bio. In there, you'll also find my LinkedIn profile, so you'll see my resume, you'll see which companies I've worked for and what positions I've held, and why I'm providing this information to you, which is essentially industry perspective, industry insight. I give you the real. I'm not just a recruiter or someone from the outside reading a self-help book and just spewing the latest jargon. From that point of view, I'm giving you real-world experience advice. If you like that, definitely hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And I offer free advice. You can go to my website, 101mentoring.com, submit your question to me that way. I'll do my best to answer in a video just like this one. And if you want to work with me personally in a one-on-one session, I've got courses on career prep. I've got courses on what majors to choose in, how to be a leader without a title, how to present yourself better, how to do presentations better. And there's just the generic one-on-one mentoring session. So I have tons of options for you guys. You can definitely check it out all on my website, 101mentoring.com. All right, so let's get to the question. Now, this person has revealed that he's got a BS, a Bachelor's of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies with an emphasis on Homeland Security and Psychology. And he says, I'm a 50-year-old Army veteran. I've returned to school to better myself and currently on the school dean's list. Amazing. That's very impressive. My question has two parts. Number one, do you think with my current major that I should do a master's degree? Or number two, should I pursue a career or employment with my BS degree? Thank you. Really good questions. Now, I have a default position. I'll have a link in the description down below or a card one here or there with regards to another video I did on whether or not you should pursue a master's degree. And I think the vast majority of you guys understand my point. I think some people think I'm anti getting a master's, that I'm really against it. It's not that. It's just that I think a lot of people, the vast majority of people, don't need one. But I do think that there is still a strong, significant subset of people that do need a master's or higher education, and it's definitely worth it for them. But I think a lot of people don't need one, and a lot of people on top of that can't afford one and get into debt even more so. So really, what determines whether you need a master's or a PhD or something else versus not? And at the end of the day, from my point of view, it really comes down to where you want to go. What's the job that you want? What is the company that you want to work for? What position are you gunning for? What department you're gunning for? You really want to have the end in mind so that you can answer all the questions that lead up to it. You want to work backwards from where you want to go, and then that's going to determine what education do you need? What kind of credits do you need? What kind of certifications do you need, right? These are all important questions, and they're way easier to answer that once you have your end goal in mind. And I think a lot of people do it the other way around. They're just like, okay, I guess I need to get my master's because that's what we're told to do, or I feel like I've been told that my bachelor's is just, getting my foot in the door. I need to differentiate myself some more, or everyone else has a bachelor's degree. That could all be valid reasons, but it's not really going to help you answer the questions that you're really hoping to get an answer for. For me, by default, it's important to understand, okay, what's your financial situation? That's number one. And number two is, do you really need a master's or a PhD or some other higher level of education? Now, that's my default position, but it doesn't mean that I lean on that position in every circumstance. No, everyone's different. And as a result, everyone's approach may need to be tweaked or tailored to that circumstance. Now, in the case of this person here, he has revealed that in terms of where he might want to go, it looks like he wants to move towards government. This is a follow-up question that I had for him actually, so it's not part of his original question. And he revealed to me that he wants to do a career change and he's looking at possibly in the government field. But he definitely does not want to do border patrol, which I totally understand. I mean, they're very, very different animals. Just because you're in the government doesn't necessarily mean that it's only border patrol. That is just one very specific area of government, right? So it's a much bigger scope. If that is the actual case, if you have generally done your homework and revealed that, yeah, I really want to go into the government organization, I will tell you this, they typically lean on education, they lean on titles. So having a PhD, a master's, or some other higher education is definitely well recognized in that world. They really appreciate that academic background. Whether you like it or not, it's just part of the structure, part of the infrastructure, and that's something that they will appreciate and recognize someone for. And I believe that their salary, the way they've broken out their salary, is also tied to the level of education one would have. So if you are looking for a high level of salary, then you definitely want to increase your education, especially in the realm of the government world. Now, with regards to your second question, which is essentially, should you pursue your career with the degree that you currently have? And you can. I mean, I would recommend that you start exploring. If you've got an opportunity to take a little bit of a break between now and starting your master's, use that. Take advantage of that to do some internships, volunteer work. Maybe you can work part-time for an organization or a government sector or something that would kind of expose you to more of that civilian world, to more of what's out there. Because I'm not 100% convinced if you're going for the government path because that's all you think is available for you, or if you really have ruled all the other options out. Now, that's my gut feeling. I don't think you have ruled them all out, so I would recommend that you use this opportunity, get exposed to these other corporate environments, this other organizational environment that's outside of government, that's outside of military, and start to understand how they work, how they communicate, how they present themselves, learn the soft skills, and then also understand and learn what are the things that stress people out. What are the forces that are against these organizations, the fires that they have to fight on a daily basis? What are the challenges that they have? What is the competition like? I really want you to get exposed to all of those things for you to evaluate whether this is the right environment for you. You want to have that exposure and start to do that before you get your master's. You know, as we're talking it through, I think the underlying question really comes down to, where is it that you want to go? And this is always the toughest one to answer, right? And I'm sure you guys are rolling your eyes every time I say that, and you're like, Brian, I don't know, otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you, and I get that. But it's important to recognize and understand that this is the crux of it all. And so what's my point? My point is, if you have an opportunity to just put a pause on things and explore other options and explore other experiences before you pull the trigger on the master's. Maybe you can apply to the master's program, do some digging there, talk to some professors, apply, and then just make sure that you've got some buffer time, that you don't start immediately right after you graduate. Give yourself 6 months. Give yourself a couple terms to take a break, if that's possible. And then within that 6 months time, start exploring your options. And you may have a change of heart, or you may realize, yes, I'm on the right path. But whatever the case, this is data points that are very, very important to you. And you may feel like, Brian, like there's so many uncertainties, and what if it pulls me into the wrong direction? Or what if it reveals that I shouldn't do my master's degree? Well, I just saved you a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of effort. And yes, I realize maybe you have already done all this research. You want to get into government. Well, I think I've touched on that, and getting more education will definitely help you. But start getting your networks in now. Start trying to understand what areas of the government you want to get into. Start poking around, doing your homework, start investing the time to network, to reach out. And if you don't know how to do this, or if you want to just get an idea of how to do this, go to my website. I've got a book called The Unfair Advantage. I talk about networking, how to reach out to people. Yes, it's more organizational, more in the corporate environment, but hopefully it'll trigger your brain to think, okay, how can I apply this to my situation? So there are some tools in there that I think you'll find very useful. Of course, if you have more questions for me, or maybe you want to dive into this a lot more deeper and say, hey, Brian, you just scratched the surface, but I really want us to work on it more. You know where to find me. We can set up a one-on-one session, talk like this over Skype, over video, and hammer this through so that you will have the clarity that you seek after one session with me. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you have any questions, if you want me to answer a question that you have on a future video, you know where to find me. 101mentoring.com. Submit your questions that way. I'll do my best to answer in a future video. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.